another image from the universe. Hopefully that is evocative. It's the birth of a star. And it's demonstrating, in a sense, the evolutionary quality of the universe. And to me, it's very evocative because what I see is that we are a part of this universe and that we share the energy of the universe, that exists in us. I want to open up 4 different fields in the time that we have. Field of awareness, field of balance, field of potential, field of sphere of influence. So first, awareness. Sometimes, is it not true that we feel very small in our nature, in our ability to bring something forward, and we doubt our own ability? And other times we feel very large, like we can do anything. We have tremendous capacity. Many times I think we play both of those roles out, like the grain of sand, like the whole desert, or all the sand on all the beaches in the universe, or the single drop of water in the ocean. We have the capacity to have the power of the whole ocean in that one drop. So just a few words about that kind of power. I see that we have power to create with our hands, with our intent, with our energy of thought, creation, intelligence. We have the capacity, the power to perceive, to understand, perceptual intelligence. We have the power to remain very stable, very centered, under tremendous pressure. Emotional intelligence. We have the power to remember our own origin and the purpose for us being here in this lifetime. Pathfinding intelligence. We have a great capacity to hold a regenerative power, not just sustaining, but regenerative, to build things back up to their full vitality for this generation and for the future generations. Sustaining intelligence. We have the power to see patterns in chaos and to find hope in the new patterns that we discover. Predictive intelligence. We have the power to be decisive for the benefit of the whole in the choices that we make, the choices that affect all of life. Decisive intelligence. And we have the power to hold the energy for the continuity, the continuous evolution on this planet, energeia, intelligence. This is the power that resides in us. And if you hadn't heard those kinds of intelligences, you certainly have heard and understand those powers in yourself. Correct? So I'm inviting us to open our awareness to that as we open the field of awareness, to recognize the power we have, and it's the power of the universe in us. And then the field of balance. There's many ways to look at balance in the self, and I bring forward what might be simple, which is the energies of the being and the becoming. In our words, the feminine and the masculine. the being energy, receptive, open, holding, listening, holding space, connected to source in a kind of a stillness. The masculine or the becoming energies, expressive, in movement, building, manifesting, accomplishing. Both very powerful energies that live in the human. The old way was understanding that for men and women, if it's kind of a general understanding, but it's applicable, I think. For the man to be fully in balance as a human being, he must first need to learn to yield and then change. And for the woman to be fully in balance, she must first learn to change and then yield. It's speaking of the energies that reside in us, yielding as a being energy. To listen, it's kind of a yielding. So if I'm automatically one who's in movement, expressive, accomplishing in my life, then it's good for me to learn the opposite in order to find my full balance. So why might this be important right now in this life that we're living? And we live in a becoming society. I'd imagine you'd agree. So in order to balance the becoming, this becoming society, this energy to accomplish, to create, to manifest, we need to find the space to listen, to open, to connect to the wisdom source, whatever that is for us. This is imperative. And to hold the space open. It's a co-creative space. It's an empty space. Because into it can come insight, innovation, new ways of understanding. Now, opening the field of potential. First, I need to look into my own. What's my ground that I stand on? How centered am I? Where are my edges? Where I feel discomfort? Where I don't feel ready to step into? Where are my limitations in myself? Particularly if I look at the powers of the universe and think about those intelligences. How am I in relation to those? How willing am I to step beyond my own edge? Be vulnerable, learn, expand, experiment. Vital. Because if I want to evoke someone else, if I want to call forward the potential in someone else, I need to start inside myself. I need to call forward the potential here first. So I need to become willing to take a few steps out. And not to fall into the trap of, well, I'm going to go there, but I'm going to pretend I really know everything I need to know. Nobody's really going to figure it out that I don't know. No, to come in the not knowing. And that'll take us right into the being space. And sometimes it's a challenge to figure out, how am I going to evoke someone? How am I going to call forward the potential in them? How do I even see the potential in them? And the trap, probably I could say for most humans, is that we wear filters, lenses. And sometimes those filters or those lenses are cloudy. Maybe it's a cultural bias. Maybe I've got judgment about someone. Maybe I've been seeing them in a certain way because I'm focused on what they're not good at. But I have to clear the lens if I'm going to be able to see them in their potential. And we all have those circle of intelligences. We all have those capacities. So a short story, when I was about 12, I was teaching swimming. And I was very good at teaching people who couldn't learn to swim, the remedial ones. And so the leader in this organization said, I want you to teach this to the other swim instructors. Well, they were all older than I was, and they'd had a lot more experience. And I said, I can't do that. They're not going to want to hear from me. And he leaned back in his chair and he said, afraid? Scared? And that was a great challenge for me, because then immediately I said, no, I'm not afraid. And I was able to get over that little hurdle. Yeah? He challenged me. And another time, an instructor in college, in my university, was a statistics professor. And he said, every one of you, this is the first day, every one of you, I expect, will be very challenged in this class. And by the end of the week, half of you will be gone. And by the second week, half of the remaining ones will be gone. I can look at you and I don't think you're going to make it. You know what I thought? I'm going to be one of the ones that's still here. I don't know if I'm like you or if you're like me. I like to be challenged. And that was a great challenge for me. So moving now to the sphere, field of influence. What is my sphere? How do I see myself influencing in my life? Is it just in myself? Is it in my family, my organization, people who report to me, my community? How big can it get? My supposition is it can be as big as this universe, because we are part of the collective. And when we open the evocative nature in us and around us, then it begins to open wider. And that this is the time when the universe is evoking us. The universe is calling for us to bring our potential to the highest manifestation in this lifetime that's possible. I think that's the edge that we're all on as humanity, and that we need to face. And it's the edge of our evolution of our consciousness. And there are some new generation values I think we need to create new systems for. We need to let go of our competition and bring in collaboration. We need to reduce our reliance on hierarchy and bring shared leadership. We need to open the door to all of us becoming contributors rather than staying in our passivity. And of course, this calls for change and shift. And the question is, are we up to it? I think so. Thank you.